Can you leave the house for an hour or so, please? I need some privacy with him. She said about her male best friend. I said, take all the time you need, and left. Permanently. She called a few hours later confused, asking where I was. I said, don't call me. I need privacy too, and hung up. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. You know that specific kind of exhaustion you feel after a 50-hour work week? It's not just physical. It's a soul-deep heaviness where your brain feels like it's packed in cotton. That was me on Friday at 6:30 p.m. I pay the rent, all of it. I pay the utilities. I pay for the groceries. Elena, my girlfriend of 2 years, covers her student loans and fun money. I was fine with that arrangement because I wanted to build a future. I thought I was investing in a partner. I was wrong. I was subsidizing a disrespect factory. And the foreman of that factory was Greg. Greg was Elena's best friend. He wasn't the guy you worry about physically. He wasn't in shape. He didn't have money. And he still lived with roommates at 28. Greg's weapon was his fragility. He was a professional victim. A soft boy. He was always in a crisis. Always spiraling. And always needing Elena to talk him off a ledge that wasn't even there. I walked into the apartment, dropped my keys, and headed straight for the couch. All I wanted was silence, a pizza, and to not speak to another human being for 12 hours. Elena was in the kitchen, pacing. She didn't say welcome home. She didn't ask how work was. Greg is coming over, she said. I closed my eyes and exhaled. It's Friday. I'm dead on my feet. Can't you guys go to a coffee shop? Or his place? His roommates are loud. She snapped, defensive immediately. And he's in a really bad place, OP. His ex-girlfriend just posted a picture with a new guy. He's devastated. He needs a safe space. Okay, I said, rubbing my temples. Fine. Just keep it in the living room? I'm going to go to the bedroom, put on headphones, and pass out. Thank you, she said, her shoulders dropping. You're the best. I went into the bedroom, shut the door, and collapsed onto the bed. I put my noise-canceling headphones on. I opened a book. I was trying to be the secure boyfriend. I was trying to be the guy who doesn't get jealous of the platonic best friend. 20 minutes later, the door creaked open. I took the headphones off. Elena was standing there, arms crossed, looking uncomfortable. But not uncomfortable for me. Uncomfortable at me. What's wrong? I asked. Do you need money for food? No, she said. She shifted her weight. Look, this isn't working. What isn't? You being here, she said. I sat up. I'm in the bedroom, Elena. The door is closed. I have headphones on. I'm invisible. It's not about the noise, she said, her voice taking on that condescending, therapy-speak tone she used when she wanted to manipulate me. It's the energy. Greg knows you're in here. He feels stifled. He can't fully release his emotions because he feels judged. He's intimidated by you, OP. He needs total privacy to feel safe enough to cry. I stared at her. The silence stretched for 5 seconds. So, I said slowly, what are you asking? She took a deep breath, like she was the one making a sacrifice. Can you leave the house for an hour or so? Please. Just go to the gym or grab a drink. I just need some privacy with him to get him through this panic attack. Once he's calm, you can come back. There it was. She wasn't asking to cheat. If she wanted to cheat, she would have done it behind my back. This was worse. This was her looking me in the eye and telling me that my comfort in my own home, the home I paid for, was less important than Greg's need to perform his weekly emotional breakdown. She was evicting me from my own life to make room for another man. In the past, I would have argued. I would have said, this is ridiculous, and she would have called me toxic and unsupportive. We would have fought. I would have looked like the bad guy, and I eventually would have stayed, angry and resentful. But this time, the anger didn't come. Instead, a cold, mathematical clarity took over. It was like a switch flipped in a circuit breaker. Click. I looked at her. I saw the entitlement. I saw the lack of respect. And I realized that no amount of arguing would fix this. You can't negotiate desire, and you can't negotiate respect. Okay, I said. She blinked, surprised. Really? You're not going to make a scene? No scene, I said. He needs support, right? Exactly. She beamed, relieved. Thank you for being so understanding. You're being a really good ally right now. I stood up. I walked to the closet and grabbed my gym bag. But I didn't pack gym clothes. While she went back into the hallway to check on Greg, it's okay, he's leaving. I moved quickly and quietly. I grabbed my laptop. I grabbed my passport from the top shelf. I grabbed the folder with my birth certificate and social security card. I grabbed my external hard drive with all my work backups. I threw in 2 changes of underwear and my toothbrush. It took me 90 seconds. I zipped the bag. It looked like a normal gym bag. I walked out of the bedroom. Greg was sitting on my couch, head in his hands, making a show of trembling. He didn't look up. He didn't acknowledge the man who paid the heating bill that was keeping him warm. Elena walked me to the door. She kissed me on the cheek. I didn't kiss back. "I'll text you when he's better," she whispered. "Probably an hour. 2 max." I opened the door. The hallway air was cool. "Take all the time you need," I said. And I meant it. I closed the door. I heard the lock click. I walked down the hallway, took the elevator to the garage, and got into my car. I didn't scream. I didn't hit the steering wheel. I checked my GPS for the nearest hotel that wasn't a total dump. I was homeless, technically. But as I pulled out of the garage, I didn't feel lost. I felt free. I drove 20 minutes to a business hotel near the interstate. It wasn't a luxury resort. It was one of those standard, beige places designed for traveling salesmen. It smelled like industrial lemon cleaner and air conditioning. But as I walked into the room and threw my bag on the bed, it felt like a sanctuary. I ordered a burger from room service. I took a long, hot shower without worrying about using up the hot water because Elena wanted to take a bath later. I turned on the TV and watched an action movie, loud, without being told to turn it down because Greg had sent a voice note she needed to analyze. For the first time in 2 years, I wasn't walking on eggshells. I wasn't managing someone else's emotional climate. I wasn't the supporting character in the melodrama of Elena and Greg. I checked my watch. 8:30 p.m. It had been 2 hours. The hour or so she asked for had come and gone. I checked my phone. No texts. No, "Are you okay?" No, "Thanks for doing this." Silence. It was funny. A part of me, the old part, the part that wanted to fix everything, waited for the apology text. I waited for her to realize how insane her request was. But the longer the silence stretched, the more the realization calcified in my gut. She wasn't worried about where I was because she didn't care. As long as I wasn't in the apartment interrupting Greg's monologue, I didn't exist. At 10:15 p.m., nearly 4 hours after I walked out, my phone finally lit up. Elena calling. I let it ring 3 times. I took a bite of my burger. I wiped my mouth with the napkin. Then, I answered. I didn't say hello. I just pressed the green button and held the phone to my ear. "Hey." Her voice was bright, almost chirpy. The background was quiet. "Where are you? I texted you like 20 minutes ago." "I didn't see it," I said. My voice sounded different to my own ears. Deeper. Detached. "Oh, well, Greg just left," she said, as casually as if she were telling me the mail had arrived. "He's feeling a lot better. He really just needed to cry it out, you know? He's such a sensitive soul. He absorbs so much negativity from the world. But I got him calmed down." "That's great," I said. Flat. "Yeah. Anyway, are you close? The fridge is empty. Can you pick up Thai food on your way back? I'm starving." Greg was too upset to eat, so I didn't want to eat in front of him, and now I'm dying. I closed my eyes and exhaled through my nose. There it was. The Thai food test. She kicks me out of my own home, spends 4 hours alone with another man, and then summons me back to bring her pad Thai like I'm a glorified delivery driver. She didn't even ask if I had eaten. She assumed I was just hovering in the ether, waiting to be reactivated to serve her. "No," I said. There was a pause on the line. The chirpiness faltered. "No? What do you mean, no? Just get the one on 4th Street. It's on your way. Get the green curry." "I mean, no, I'm not getting food. And I'm not coming back." She laughed. It was a nervous, confused little chuckle. "What? Stop being weird. Where are you? Did you go to Mike's place?" "Stop joking. It's not a joke, Elena. You asked me to leave. So I left." Her tone shifted instantly. The brightness vanished, replaced by that familiar, condescending edge she used whenever I stepped out of line. "Okay, look, I know you're feeling insecure right now, but don't be dramatic. I asked you to leave for an hour. It's been 4. You're punishing me for helping a friend in crisis, and it's really unattractive." "I'm not punishing you," I said calmly. "I'm agreeing with you." "What are you talking about?" "You said you needed privacy," I said. "You were right. Privacy is important. Boundaries are important. And I realized tonight that I have 0 privacy in my own home because I'm living with a third person who doesn't pay rent. Oh my God, she groaned. Are we really doing the I hate Greg thing again? He was crying, Opie. He was suicidal. He's always suicidal, Elena. Until he meets a new girl, and then he's fine. Until she dumps him, and then he's back on our couch. You are so heartless, she spat. I can't believe I'm dating someone with this little empathy. Just come home. We can talk about this in person, but bring food because I have a headache. I looked around the hotel room. The bed was made. The air conditioner hummed peacefully. The door was double locked. I'm not coming home, Elena. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Stop it, she snapped. You're scaring me. Where are you sleeping? That's none of your business anymore. None of my. I'm your girlfriend. Are you? I asked. Because girlfriends don't kick their partners out to play nurse to another man. You made a choice tonight. You chose his comfort over my respect. You wanted the apartment to yourself? Congratulations. It's yours. Opie, stop, she said, her voice rising in pitch. Panic was finally setting in. She realized I wasn't following the script. I wasn't apologizing. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Just come home. Please. I'm sorry if I made you feel left out, okay? I'm sorry. Is that what you want to hear? I don't want to hear anything, I said. I'm tired. So come home and sleep. No, I said. You wanted privacy with him. You got it. I took a breath, savoring the finality of what I was about to say. Don't call me. I need privacy too. Wait, don't you click. I stared at the phone screen for a second. Then, I put it on Do Not Disturb and blocked her number. I expected to feel sick. I expected to feel that gut-wrenching anxiety of what have I done. Instead, I felt a strange sense of professional satisfaction. Like I had just closed a bad business deal that had been bleeding money for years. I picked up the remote, unpaused the movie, and took another bite of my burger. It was the best burger I had ever tasted. I slept for 9 hours straight. I spent the weekend in the hotel. I didn't drink. I didn't wallow. I went to the hotel gym, I read a book, and I ignored my phone. When I finally checked it on Sunday night, the notifications were a disaster zone. 17 missed calls. 42 texts. Elena had cycled through the entire spectrum of toxic grief. Denial. Stop joking around. It's not funny. Anger. You are being such a child. Grow up. Bargaining. I'll make it up to you. I'll tell Greg he can't come over for a week. Depression. I'm crying and I'm scared. Why are you doing this? Rage. Again, fine. Be an asshole. See if I care. I didn't reply to a single one. Responding gives them fuel. Silence starts the fire. Monday morning arrived. I woke up at 7 a.m. I put on a fresh shirt. Then, I called my boss. I need to take a personal emergency day, I said. I have a housing situation I need to resolve immediately. Do what you need to do, he said. He knew I never missed days. I knew Elena's schedule perfectly. She left for the boutique at 8:30 a.m. She took the subway, which meant she would be underground and offline for 40 minutes. Greg, being unemployed by choice, usually slept until noon at his own place, exhausted from the emotional labor of ruining my relationship. At 9 a.m. sharp, I pulled up to the apartment building. But I didn't bring a couple of buddies and a pickup truck. That's amateur hour. I brought a professional moving crew. 3 guys, a big truck, and a lot of shrink wrap. It cost me $800 for the minimum booking, but paying for speed and professionalism was worth every penny. I unlocked the door. The apartment smelled like stale wine and Greg. A faint scent of patchouli and unwashed clothes lingered in the living room. All right, I told the foreman. We are surgical today. I am pointing out exactly what goes. If I don't point at it, it stays. We moved efficiently. We took the 65-inch OLED TV I had bought for the Super Bowl. We took the Sonos surround sound system. We took the Breville espresso machine, my pride and joy. We took the Dyson vacuum. We took the Herman Miller office chair. I went into the bedroom. I packed all my clothes, my watches, and my shoes. I took the nightstands I had restored myself. I stripped the bed but left the mattress. It was technically hers, even if I bought it. Then came the moment of truth. I stood in the bathroom, looking at the supply closet. There was a fresh bulk pack of toilet paper I had just bought from Costco. There were boxes of smart light bulbs. There was the expensive laundry detergent. A petty man would have taken them. A petty man would have unscrewed the light bulbs just to make her sit in the dark. But I wasn't being petty. I was being indifferent. Leave it, I muttered to myself. Taking the toilet paper says, I am angry and I want to inconvenience you. Leaving it says, I am so far above this situation that I don't care about $50 worth of paper products. You are a charity case to me now. By 11:30 a.m., the apartment wasn't empty, but it was hollow. It looked like a staged model home that no one actually lived in. The soul of the place, the comfort, the tech, the stability, was in the back of the truck. All that remained were her IKEA lac tables, her decorative throw pillows, and the silence. I placed my key on the kitchen counter. Beside it, I left a note. I didn't pour my heart out. I didn't write a manifesto about betrayal. I wrote a business memo. Elena, since you need so much privacy for you and Greg, I've decided to give you the apartment permanently. I have moved out. The rent is due on the 1st. Good luck. Up. We're good to go, boss. The mover said, wiping sweat from his forehead. I took one last look around. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel nostalgia. I looked at the empty wall where the TV used to be, and I felt like a tumor had been removed. I walked out, locked the door from the inside, and pulled it shut. I got in my car and followed the truck. I didn't look back in the rearview mirror. The fallout began at 1:30 p.m. I was sitting in a diner with my brother, eating a club sandwich, when my phone started vibrating so violently it nearly walked off the table. Elena calling. Elena calling. Elena calling. Then came the texts. What did you do? Where is the TV? How could you do this to me? I can't afford this place alone. Greg says you're a psychopath. Then came the flying monkeys. Her friends, whom I had fed, entertained, and DD'd for years, suddenly had a lot of opinions on my character. Sarah, best friend, you abandoned her? She's having a panic attack on the floor. You need to come back and fix this. Be a man. Mark, mutual friend, bro, leaving her with the rent is low. Even if you guys are fighting, you don't mess with someone's housing. I didn't argue. I didn't try to explain the nuances of the situation. I sent one single mass text to everyone involved. Elena asked me to leave my own home so she could be alone with another man. I respected her wishes and moved out. I am no longer financially responsible for her choices. Do not contact me again. Then I blocked them all, one by one. It was incredibly satisfying, but I wasn't done. Blocking numbers is emotional protection. I needed legal protection. I drove straight to the leasing office. I walked in and sat down with the property manager, a no-nonsense woman named Karen. I need to break the lease for Unit 4B, I said, sliding a cashier's check across the desk. Karen looked at the check. It was for $4,800, 2 months of rent. It hurt to write that check. That was my vacation money. That was my savings. But I viewed it as a ransom payment for my future. This covers the early termination fee, I said. As of today, I have vacated the premises and surrendered my keys. Karen typed into her computer. Okay, this terminates the current lease agreement effective immediately. However, since Elena is still in the unit, she becomes a holdover tenant. She has 30 days to either vacate or sign a new lease in her name. She'll need to requalify on her own income, right? I asked. Correct, Karen said. She will need to show proof of income equal to 3 times the monthly rent. I nodded. She won't qualify. Then she will receive a notice to quit, Karen said simply. Understood. I walked out of that office lighter than air. I had paid a steep price for my freedom, but it was cheaper than a divorce 5 years down the line. I had legally severed the limb to save the body. The next 3 months were quiet for me. I focused on work. I started lifting heavy again. I slept like a baby. But news travels. Apparently, the honeymoon phase of Elena and Greg lasted exactly as long as the internet bill was paid. With me out of the picture, Greg stepped up. And by stepped up, I mean he moved his duffel bag into the space I cleared out. He told Elena he would help her manifest the rent money. He told her that my departure was a cosmic sign, that they were meant to be roommates. But reality is a brutal creditor. Elena needed $2,400 a month for the apartment. She made $3,200. After taxes and student loans, she had about $400 left for food and utilities. She needed a roommate who paid bills. Instead, she got Greg. Greg was great at crying about his childhood trauma at 2 a.m. He was not great at paying the electric bill. He was not great at doing dishes. He was not great at giving Elena space when she came home tired from work. By month 2, the power dynamic had completely inverted. Elena wasn't this savior comforting this sad boy anymore. She was a stressed-out woman coming home to a dirty apartment and a jobless man playing video games on her old, small TV because I took the OLED. The emotional connection. She claimed they had evaporated the moment she asked him to chip in for groceries. Greg, true to his nature, flipped the script. He called her controlling and materialistic, the exact same insults she used to throw at me. When the eviction notice finally hit because she couldn't cover the rent, Greg didn't fight for her. He didn't get a job at Starbucks to help out. He ghosted. He literally packed his bag while she was at work and went back to his parents' basement. He blocked her on everything. He left her with the debt, the eviction on her record, and the crushing realization that she had blown up a stable, loving life for a hallucination. She lost the apartment. She had to move back in with her mother in the suburbs, a 90-minute commute to her job. I heard all of this from Mike, who heard it from Mark, who had apparently unblocked me just to apologize. I didn't reply. I didn't feel happy about it. I didn't feel sad. I felt vindicated. The demolition was complete, and I was already building something new. It was a Tuesday evening in November, about 3 months after the lease break. I was leaving my gym, feeling good. My bank account had recovered. I had a date lined up for the weekend with a lawyer I met at a networking event, and I was in the best shape of my life. The stress cortisol that had pumped through my veins for 2 years was gone. I walked out into the crisp autumn air, digging in my gym bag for my keys. Up. The voice stopped me. It was smaller than I remembered. Shakier. I turned around. Elena was standing near the bike rack, shivering slightly in the wind. She looked rough. The glossy, put-together woman I had lived with was gone. She had lost weight, but not in a healthy way. She looked gaunt. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun that looked like it hadn't been washed in days. She was wearing a hoodie I recognized, one of my old ones she had kept. "Hey," I said. I didn't smile. I didn't frown. I just stood there, waiting. "I've been waiting here for an hour," she said, wrapping her arms around herself. "I know you always do chest day on Tuesdays." "Okay," I said, keeping my distance. "Why?" She took a step forward, her eyes welling up with tears. It was a look that used to work on me. It used to make me apologize for things I didn't do. Now, it just looked like a performance I hadn't bought a ticket for. "I miss you," she whispered. I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. "I messed up," she continued, the words tumbling out now, desperate to fill the silence. "You were right. About everything. Greg, he's a narcissist. He used me. He turned me against you. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. He's gone, Opie. I kicked him out 2 weeks ago." She paused, looking at me expectantly. She was waiting for me to validate her victory. She wanted credit for solving a problem she created. "Okay," I said again. "Is that all you have to say?" she asked, a flash of her old frustration appearing. "I'm telling you that you were right. I'm apologizing. I'm living with my mom now. It's a nightmare. I miss us. I miss our life. I fixed the problem. Opie, Greg is gone." She reached out, trying to touch my arm. I took a smooth, deliberate step back. "Elena," I said, my voice calm and steady. "You're missing the point. Greg wasn't the problem. You were the problem." She flinched like I had slapped her. "What?" "No, he manipulated me. He asked for things. I corrected. You chose to give them. You chose to prioritize his comfort over my respect. You chose to kick me out of my own home." I was confused, she pleaded. "People make mistakes. Everyone deserves a second chance." "This wasn't a mistake," I said. "A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. A mistake is scratching the car. Asking your partner to leave his own home so you can have privacy with another man isn't a mistake. It's a statement. You told me exactly where I stood in your hierarchy. But I love you," she shouted, attracting looks from a couple walking into the gym. "Doesn't that matter?" "No," I said. "It doesn't." I checked my watch. "I have to go." "So that's it," she cried, her voice cracking. 2 years? You're just going to throw it away because of one bad night?" I opened my car door and looked at her one last time across the roof. I saw the desperation, the regret, and the fear of the consequences she was finally facing. "I didn't throw it away, Elena," I said. "I just left it where you put it, second place." I got in the car. I didn't slam the door. I just closed it. She stood there crying in the parking lot, looking small and irrelevant in the rearview mirror. I turned on the radio. A classic rock song was playing. I turned it up. I pulled out of the lot and merged onto the main road. I didn't look back. I had a date to get ready for. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.